Hey guys, so welcome back to the next part of the CR250 1985 project that I've got going on here. In my last video I started putting the bike back together and I've had to modify the well, I thought I'd have to modify the bracket that holds the expansion chamber on, but overnight I've tried to epoxy it back together, so this will be the moment of reckoning where I take off the clamp and see if that holds. So I'll let me put you down. I'll try and do it with one hand actually. That doesn't look very promising, to be honest. Oh yeah, that's not moving anywhere. That's hard as. Sweet, okay. So that has held. Now I've just got to tighten it up. Sweet, I'll go and do that now. Then I've got the tank to go on, the seat to go on, and then I'm going to check over the rear brake again because there's a slight squeak in it, and I think I know what's happened. So it's part of the drum is worn, and the new pads are in there just rubbing against part of a wear point, so I'm just going to slightly sand around and try and get that out. Then I've got to put fluids in it, check for leaks with the new hoses, heat the bike up and stuff, and then drain the motor oil out of it again, just like as a flush, because before there was a bunch of crud and crap in there. So I'm going to heat the motor up, run it through, drop all that oil, and then with that also look for any contamination between the coolant and the oil. So yeah, we'll chip away and get into that. But yeah, it's coming along. Can't wait to get this thing ripping. And I'm sure there's other jobs that I've got to do that I can't remember, but I'm sure I'll figure it out as we go. So let me get my Christmas coffee going on. She's cold again. As you can see, I've got my hat. It's, what is it, 41.4. Sorry about the glare, Fahrenheit in here. So she's pretty cold, but let's put some music on and get into it. Okay, so I've got the wheel off. I took the whole brake and everything off as well, just so I can see the whole picture when I pull it up. So let's check it out. Hopefully we can see where it's wearing. I was guessing it was going to be wearing on that little bit, because you can see there's a bit of wear mark. But I'll just inspect this and then have a look. Okay, so looking into it closely, you can see a bit of wear. Wait, I don't know, just on there, and there. So it looks like the bottom of the brake pads are rubbing down in there, and you can see slight little bits of shavings. So it's just so slightly just wearing on this, and the noise will go away, but it will create all this metal shavings. So I'm thinking what I need to do is just slightly file off, sand this edge down a little bit, because I don't really want to do it into the hub. I'll do it on the wear part. So these brake pads are slightly too wide by the looks of it. So yeah, at least we know what that noise is. So yeah, I'm just going to take the brake pads off and make them ever so slightly thinner. And I think that should be the ticket. Okay guys, so I know what the squeaky noise is. See the spring? The spring with these brakes, it slightly rubs against this collar, or whatever you call that is, part of the drum. So just to test it, I went through and I cleaned up the edges, and I still put it in, and then I put the brake in there without the disc brakes, and I turned and it didn't happen. And then I also lifted the brakes. I put some washers in here just to lift everything up, put it in, and it still squeaked. And it's the spring hitting here. So it's just because of the way that these holes are mounted slightly. It's just ever so slightly adjusted where the spring sits. So try and figure out now a long-term solution for that. Now I did use the original springs that came with the bike, so I might go and look at the other springs to see if they're a smaller diameter. And if it is, I'll go and use those springs. So little bit by little bit we'll get there. Okay guys, so try and put you somewhere. Okay guys, so got the caliper. These are the original springs, and they is 0.37. Oh, Nathan's been in here. I want millimeters, baby. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but make sure I'm on the crest of each thing. So it's about 9.9, 9.8 mil for this one. And I've just folded over the brakes. And so that's about 10.9. So we're definitely bigger, so I'm going to go and use the slightly smaller springs, and I think that's the problem. Who would have thought, eh? Just a little spring with... but I've had real issues with these brake pads because they didn't slot in either. I had to file the edges, so... let's go and put them on with the new springs and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've got the new springs in. They're a lot tighter than the other ones. Proof in the pudding is now, so if I put that in, and see if it squeaks. Oh yeah. No squeaking. I also, if you can see, I just took a sandpaper and I just slightly sanded down the edges here. So I think that's ready to put back in. I'm just going to run a bit of brake cleaner around the brakes, just because of the oils in my skin, and I did touch grease earlier when I was putting it on the old springs to see if I could mask that spring squeaking noise, and I had washed my hands since, but while it's here, I might as well just clean my hands again and then clean in with brake cleaner. Okay, that's how it should sound. So it was just the spring, eh? Who would have thought? But if you ever hear that with your guys' bikes, when you change brake pads and you don't use the springs that come with it and use the originals, and it's making a squeaking noise, it might be that. So anyway, I don't care because it's resolved. Put this back up together now and move on to the next piece. Okay guys, so I've just got the seat here. Just got to put these mounting brackets on here and then I can install it. Thanks again, Eric, for helping me out with this seat, man. It looks magic, eh? So yeah, thanks bro. Don't actually like these bolts. I might try and give them a clean up again. Put you on pause for a second. Okay, instead of cleaning them up, there's a couple of these that are, I don't like the thread in them, so I'm just going to swap them out with some new ones. Do all this good seat and then don't want to half-ass and put a shitty bolt in, so get into that now. I've got a bit of blue Loctite on them as well, just so they don't come loose and the seat comes loose. I'm going to keep one of the bolts in there. It was actually pretty good, so I would have put 4, but I only had three good new ones. One seat ready for reinstallation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put coolant in, put the oil in. With the coolant in, I'm going to leave the cap off and I'm just going to kick the bike just to make sure. I'll check the head gasket, because if we see bubbles or anything, you'll see that there'll be that compression, that pressure going into the coolant system. So I'll just check that, something I want to know. So yeah, I'll go and do that now. Okay guys, so I said earlier that I'm going to use this Evans stuff. That is true, I will use the Evans stuff, but before I verify, before I put the good stuff in and make sure that my clutch cover and water pump fix is done, I'm just going to use just this 50/50 stuff, because I'm going to heat the bike up and drain it all out. So I'll use it as a flush, so I don't want to use the good stuff for the flush. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to pop this guy in now and check for leaks, and just get into that now. Okay, so that's topped off there now. Before I start kicking it over a little bit, I'm just going to put some engine oil in the bike. So I'm just going to go and check how much it is, but it actually says on the side, so I'm going to, that there, that's a little level plug, so you can take that out, fill the bike up until it comes out there, but I'm going to measure 600 and then pull that out. So I'm using the Lucas Oil wet clutch oil. So we want 600. So I'm using the good oil here because I've got enough. I've got 2 of these bottles, so I've got enough for a flush, and then I'll do another one for a ride just to put some more pressure on it. I won't be able to do that today because there's nowhere to ride. It's snow everywhere. But then I've got enough oil to actually put it in again fresh, assuming that it's all fixed, which I think it is. So let's chuck this oil in. I had to take away the funnel because it wasn't quite small enough to go in the hole. Very small holes where you fill the oil for some reason. I guess over time with the newer bikes they changed it to use a bigger hole, which is good. You can see there, oil's just starting to drip out a little bit. Not much, because still got the cap open. So I think I'll just give it a couple minutes and then pop the screw back in, and then I'll kick over and see if there's any bubbles coming in the coolant. So the coolant's still capped off. I'm just going to go through, make sure I don't see any leaks, which I haven't yet. No, so that's good. What I'll do now is I'll kick and hopefully we don't see any action there. Okay, that was pretty hard to film, so I think there was some big bubbles come through, but I think it was because there was air in the lines, as I kicked, it was turning the coolant over. But there's no little bubbles or anything, so I think the proof will be, put the bike back together, I'll start the bike and I'll take the cap off, and if there's bubbles and shit popping up through, then there's a clear sign. But I don't expect there to be a heat gasket issue, because the guys that I bought the bike off, it just changed all the gaskets and stuff on the head. But I just wanted to check, so I think we're good. We've got the oil in now. I haven't seen any leaks, but again, the proof will be when the bike's running. So let me change the battery in this, and then I'll start putting on the last few pieces, and let's have a look. Yeah. Let's get that bolted in. One side cover done, shroud, I should say. Let's undo the other one. Okay, so nearly time for the big seat reveal, I guess. Check that out, man. Totally looks better than when I got this thing, eh? Check out this side. Okay. Oh shit. Gotta put the new fuel line in. Let's do that. Okay, this is the 1985 CR250. I've had it, I've been working on it for about 4 weeks, mainly in the weekends. It's come up really nice. The frame is on my next on my list, but I want to ride it next. So once the frame's done, it's going to look mean. But check it out, man. It's windy today. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna kick it over shortly and make sure she runs all good, and check the let it warm up. And like I said before, I'm gonna check that there's no leak or no issue between the water pump and the motor with the oil and the coolant. But pretty happy, man. This is a night and day different to what it used to be. Okay guys, so I'm going to try and start the bike for the first time since I've had it all apart. To be honest, a little bit nervous. I don't know why, but I am. Just going to turn the fuel on to make sure that's not leaking. Put the choke on. Oh, she's a tall bike. Okay guys, so that's the wrap for this video. Unfortunately I can't seem to start it. I took the carby out, checked that, still got spark. So I'm not sure what I've done, and I've run out of time for today, so that's my next mission really. But I'm really happy with how the bike's come along. Thanks for coming along with the journey so far. I will be back when we get it going. But for now, I'll call it a day for today's video. So take it easy guys, and we'll see you next time.